My name is Mark, and I'm from the United States. I've always been a fan of the paranormal, but until that day, I'd never witnessed anything that chilled my blood. What I experienced left me on the verge of a heart attack, and I'm sure I'll remember it for the rest of my life. We tend to think that disturbing events happen far from us, that monsters dwell in remote places, and that demonic entities manifest during rituals of hidden tribes in the jungle. Nothing could be further from the truth. Such an experience can catch you by surprise any day, at any moment, even in a place you consider mundane and familiar. I was 12 years old when this happened. That summer, my parents decided to go to the beach, something unusual for them since they preferred cooler climates. This time, however, the heat drove them to Oceanview, a coastal town in Maine. For me, it was paradise: clean sea, chocolate milkshakes, and chicken nuggets from a food truck. On the first day, we took a walk along the boardwalk and came upon an imposing lighthouse. I wanted to get closer, but my parents refused, saying it was getting late. Disheartened, I returned to the house, annoyed. I crawled into bed with a book, not feeling like eating dinner. After a while, a light filtered through my bedroom window. It was the lighthouse, which had been turned on, and that excited me. Without making a sound, I grabbed my camera and snuck out of the house. I walked along the boardwalk until I reached the lighthouse. The door was locked, so I circled the structure and found a narrow rocky path that led down to the shore. I thought I could take a good picture from there. I ventured down the steps, carefully, so as not to slip. When I reached the second to last step, I knelt and prepared to take the photo. Then, I heard a splash to my right. I turned my head and saw something I will never forget. A long, black mane of hair was emerging from the water, followed by a naked, white, and well-formed body. I was mesmerized by her beauty. But when that woman opened her eyes, my fascination turned to terror. Her pupils were dark and lifeless, and her macabre smile stretched all the way to her cheekbones, giving her a grotesque and sinister appearance. I tried to run, but something in her eyes trapped me. I was paralyzed, as if an invisible force had bound me to the ground. My muscles wouldn't respond, and no matter how hard I tried to move, I couldn't. It felt as though my body was turning to stone, immobile and rigid. Panic overtook me as I realized I couldn't escape, couldn't even look away from those cold, empty eyes. Then, an intense burning sensation began to spread through my feet. It felt like the ground beneath me was on fire. The sand and rocks around me seemed unaffected, but the heat kept climbing up my legs. I glanced down with difficulty and saw my toes darkening and hardening as if they were petrifying. A dull, growing pain spread slowly upwards. Desperate, I tried to scream, but no sound came out. The heat and weight of the petrification pulled me deeper into the ground until the pain became unbearable. I closed my eyes, trying to block everything out, but in my mind, I could still see her dark eyes, her grotesque smile, and my own body being consumed by that infernal heat. Suddenly, a sharp, piercing scream echoed in my ears, like a shrill whistle. The pain in my eardrums was unbearable. It felt like they were bursting. I lost consciousness for a moment, and when I came to, I wasn't fully aware. I could hear the gentle sound of the waves and smell the intense scent of seaweed. Something or someone was approaching. I felt cold, wet hands on my shoulders. Her fingers had long, pointed nails that brushed against my skin. Then, a wet, fleshy touch, as if she was kissing me. I couldn't open my eyes. Something was preventing me. Finally, I heard a splash in the water and knew the creature had left. I opened my eyes and saw the woman's silhouette moving away in the sea, her hair flowing with the current. Suddenly, my forehead began to burn. I touched it and found a black scale embedded in my skin. I carefully pulled it out and saw my own reflection on its surface. In the distance, I heard another splash. I didn't want to look because something told me that if I did, I would find death. I returned to the apartment with dry clothes, but my heart rate was still racing. I lay down on the bed, and suddenly a violent coughing fit sent me running to the bathroom. I felt something lodged in my throat, and when I leaned over the sink, I spat out another black scale stained with blood. From that day on, I knew that there are beings that dwell beyond our understanding, creatures that emerge from the depths of the ocean to remind us that we are not alone. That experience led me to obsess over the mysteries of the ocean and to believe that sirens are not as they are shown on television. They are sea demons, spawn of the unfathomable abyss, ready to seduce and terrorize those who dare to look at them. I hope this story serves as a warning to all who, like me, feel drawn to the unknown.